Delve into what's driving the local market to a new record high. Owen Nkomo, executive partner at Inkunzi Invest, joining me at the desk. Thank you so much, Owen.
Thank you, Samantha.
So there we go. Is it the ShopRite price that is nudging towards 200 Rand, or how would you describe kind of key market movements on the day?
Yeah, it's quite an amazing rally that ShopRite has had through the year. In fact, over the years, it's one stock that many analysts have called a short for quite a few times, but they've got it wrong. But today you're seeing the double impact of strong platinum price and very strong iron ore prices that have fed obviously into likes of Billiton, your Anglo American and your ARIs. That's definitely those names that push the market higher to this all-time closing session here.
Now, just talking about that resources space, we've got the IDC and a Chinese consortium bidding 5.3 billion Rand bid there for Palabora mining. What do you make of that announcement? Is it going to be a good thing for Palabora to move into the hands of the Chinese and the IDC here in South Africa?
Well, look, I don't know if it's going to be a good thing or not, but I think it's definitely a good deal for shareholders. The share got a nice re-rating today, trading up 10% And obviously we know that Anglo American has been trying to get rid of some of their non-core assets, and I think this is what they've done in this deal. The IDC has been definitely active in implementing some of these structures recently, and I'm not surprised that we're getting our partnerships with guys from China coming into this deal. Yeah, let's see what happens to the stock price as we go into next year.
Certainly is interesting though. Anglo American and IDC seems to be the buyer of all of their non-core assets. I mean, was Score Operations in the steel space that they sold to the IDC. What is kind of the makeup as Anglo American divests of some of these non-core assets, and one would assume it would continue? What would be your kind of view on the stock going into 2013? Just
look, I mean, Anglo American is yet again another interesting stock, probably one of the worst performers in the sector. And I think that as they've promised that they're going to continue to look at some of their assets, maybe they have a look at getting rid of Amplats down the line, and maybe they continue to get rid of some more of these assets like they've done.
I mean, you say the Amplats story. How likely is it that they will do this, completely divest of their interests in Anglo American Platinum?
Remember, Anglo American, in terms of Amplats, they've got an asset that doesn't exactly match up nicely with Impala Platinum in terms of cost production. Impala is definitely a much better producer of platinum. That's why you've seen Amplats get punished way more than Impala Platinum has. And even in this reaction today to the better of platinum price, which has been driven by improvement in Chinese outlook for the economy, Amplats is not following up as much. So I think in as much as they've got assets that continue to cost them more money to run, Anglo American will probably look at getting rid of those assets. And like I said, this is one name to look out for. Remember, they're flying without a CEO. Our eyes are going to be set out on finding out who's going to be the next guy to replace us in their carol.
That certainly is the most important issue when it comes to Anglo American right now. Leadership at the top. Mr. Price down almost 3%, 136 Rand, just above that today. And we had retail sales figures coming through today, a lot lower than expected. I mean, 1% growth in South Africa year on year for October. Do you think that the softness we saw in the retail sector today reflecting the soft retail sales numbers?
Look, I would say a part of it probably is, but I would go on to say that I think there seems to be a switch out of the retailers, which have done quite a lot this year, and guys are probably now positioning themselves in the resources space, as you see people buying Anglo American, Billiton, Amplats, etc. So there is definitely some element of a switch out there. But I'll tell you this, Samantha, this market has been very illogical. You could probably find that the only reason the sector is down is that the biggest buyer of the stock is not in play at the moment. Yeah. They could have already packed their bags and gone. So that's why you're seeing the sector pull back.
And of course it's December, so it's hard to read into big movements on stocks at this time of year.
Absolutely. A funny thing, Grayston Drive intersection yesterday, the guy that's busy cleaning the windows on the car says, you know what, this December is going to be terrible, man. We're not seeing any action. People are not buying stuff from us. Those Louis Vuitton bags, they're saying the sales are low. So I think maybe definitely we're going to have a tough Christmas, especially in the retail space, because everyone is overextended in terms of private credit.
Okay, so you talked about the guy on the side of the road, and he's concerned about sales at Christmas time. And we're seeing kind of slowdown in consumer spending as of October, when traditionally we see stronger spending. So what does that mean? I mean, you talked about what the herd is doing. What are you doing when it comes to retailers? Are you buying any of them?
Jeez, look, it's a tough space. We had a few opportunities to get involved last week, for example, or 2 weeks before. When we got into Truest, we got into some cliques. These names have incidentally run nicely here. But I think next year is going to be a challenge, and I don't think December is going to be as as great as we've been penciling down in the past couple of years. So the retail space, definitely one wants to believe. And I think the way to position yourself, get into some of those defensive names, and probably start increasing your exposure towards some of the resources names. If China continues to give us recovery trends that are more convincing going into next year, especially with the new government, and if Japan gets through and says, okay, new government in place, more quantitative easing, and we're getting a solution to the fiscal cliff in the USA, then definitely I think the markets could have a little bit more leg, and the resources names will probably be the most favored. We could see Billiton take out $300 in my view. It
seems that Billiton is the top favorite. I mean, the stock market, the watcher yesterday is saying that Billiton was his top pick for 2013. So what's your top pick?
Geez, man, it's a tough one, but I'd like to still bet on the mighty Naspers. You know, it's continued to grow from strength to strength, and I do think that next year the stock does take out $600. And you know, I'm rather uncomfortable to say this, but I think ShopRite's will continue to trade way better than the likes of Pick and Pay and Spar Group, in my view, because of their whole exposure to the rest of Africa. But Anglo American, let's not rule that out. If they continue to get rid of some of these assets, and you know, we get the right person to lead the business, I think there could be some rich pickings to come through from that one as well. Remember, it's coming from about $300 as well. Yeah.